Hey, y'all. What is it? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Welcome into the building. It's Trending Topics Tuesday, and we got some stuff to talk about. There's a lot going on in the streets right now, a lot going on, but we're going to keep it light over here today because sometimes the topics get so heavy and so much. I have to woosah before I can even go to sleep. But it's Trending Topic Tuesday. I'm in the building. I hope y'all hit that like button and purchase your ticket. If you're going to be a passenger out there on the platform, keep your temperature low, buckle your seatbelt, because sometimes the conversation may get heated and go in a direction that you be like, oh my goodness, I don't want you to get hurt. So put your seatbelt on, okay? And catch the train. Don't catch feelings. Listen, guys, it's Trending Topics Tuesday. It's called Exploitation and Injustice. The people are being exploited. We got yet again another lawsuit. But this time, Diddy is catching a slight break. This one is not against Diddy. His name ain't even in it. It's Irv Gotti. Now, this one is on like a shaky platform for me. It ain't shaking a lot, but it's shaking a little bit. Because I'm almost saying to myself, at the end of the day, probably anybody that's ever been in a tumultuous relationship could probably wake up and maybe sue. It's a little shaky ground. It's not totally shaky, but Irv Gotti, a young lady, 2020. And so 2020, I'm thinking to myself, the statute of limitations, I don't think it's up because it's only 2024. And this is nothing against this young lady with this lawsuit, but my thought process is, if you are within the window where this person, you can press criminal charges against this person, why not go that route first and then do your civil suit? But I digress for a moment, and I'll come right back and say that the young lady says she was in a relationship with him from 2020 to 2022, and she's still traumatized to this day about the stuff that he did to her allegedly and what happened. To the point where she says she was admitted to a psych ward. And she's still traumatized, and she wants a trial, a jury by trial. So she wants the jury to determine, after they hear all her evidence and his evidence and, everything she went through, she wants the jury to determine how much she should get and for her pain and her suffering that she said is probably going to last a lifetime. I will never in my life understand what a person will get out of forcing someone to do a sexual act on them. It confuses me. I would rather be with somebody who wants to be with me. We touching each other because we love each other. I don't understand it. But it seems like a lot of people in the entertainment industry, and it's not just the entertainment industry, because sadly enough, a lot of stuff like this happens on college campuses. And these colleges, they brush it under the rug. We did a story. I think it was last year. I don't think it was early this year. I think it was last year on this channel. We did this story where the young lady was suing an NFL player, and she said the college kept calling him, telling him, knock it off, and told her, go back to your dorm. And I'm kind of paraphrasing a little bit. Go back to your dorm. We spoke to him, and everything's going to be all right. It was a misunderstanding. So they're telling her what her thoughts are. Where they do that at? But they do it at the colleges because they want to make that money, keep recruiting people, and they don't want it to be known that predators come on their campus are violating their daughters. You got families out there working hard every single day, scraping together all their change, auntie chipping in, the uncle chipping in, everybody in the family chipping in to send their kid, their niece, their nephew, cousin or whatever, brother, sister to college, and then they're going to find out that they getting violated over there. My whole family had to pull this money together to send my daughter over to the college, and she's getting violated. and y'all telling her to go back to her dorm and forget about it. Then when she comes home and she's not herself, and I'm asking, are you okay? Traumatized. Just tried to go get an education to have a better life, and you go to the college and you get traumatized. Because the predator goes to the school and lives in the dorm 2 dorms down from you. So these people are everywhere. Well, we may shake the train a little bit tonight. And don't y'all go low on me talking about victim blaming, because that's not what this is about. But we got to educate the people. If you meet person A today, and on Tuesday, they hit you up in the text or they call you up and say, hey, I'm about to go to Jamaica. Do you want to come with me? You just met them yesterday. Now, I did not go to Harvard. I did not go to Yale. I'm not a genius. But I will say this. I would say you should say no. You don't even know this person. And 9 times out of 10, you're not getting nothing for free. You met them on Monday. Tuesday, they hit you up in the text talking about, I'm about to go to the Caribbean. Do you want to come? I got you. But we're going to talk about it. And hopefully we'll get some education and have a conversation. We're going to talk about it. So injustice, exploited. That's our title. Exploitation and injustice. Now let's talk about Wendy Williams. Now, for whatever reason, honey, her friend Regina, she out in these streets talking. Now, I don't know if the son they paid for, if you come talk to, I don't know what it is, but she's talking. And I appreciate her because I haven't heard from the sister, the son, her brother. Wendy Williams' friend, said that Lifetime is thinking about doing another segment of Where's Wendy Williams? I said, what? And her friend Reggie said, didn't they exploit her enough? What are they talking about doing another segment? Now, Reggie says she's been friends with Wendy Williams for darn near most of their life. And she said one thing she know about Wendy, she would have never wanted to be seen on TV with that wig off her head. And she said she also would have never wanted the people to see bottles of alcohol empty around her home. And I don't know Wendy Williams like that, but I'm going to put another thing out there. I highly doubt that she would have wanted the people to see her house in disorder, in chaos. The cats peeing everywhere, not clean. I doubt it. And so her friend Reggie said they trying to exploit her because now they want to do another segment. You know why Lifetime want to do another segment? Because they probably raked in the dough. Because I know I was front and center, and I'm sure a lot of other people were. The people love Wendy Williams. So they probably raked in the dough when they did that 2-part series of Where's Wendy Williams? And now the so-called executives from Lifetime, they claim that the family and everybody else is like, yeah, do it. I said, the family said, yeah, do it. Whew, we're going to talk about it, people. We got to talk about it tonight. Then our other subject is Delaware teenagers. They together. They walking. They're not in a car. They're walking. One of them, it was hot outside. But can I tell you something about these kids now? These kids their clothes don't match the weather. It just don't. These kids, they're resilient. I don't know what, they just do whatever. It be below 0 outside. They got on Crocs in a hoodie standing at the bus stop, freezing. And when they walk out the door, you be like, you're not going to grab a jacket, a hat, a scarf. They be like, nah, I'm going to be fine. They act like they don't get cold. I'm telling you, drive past during the school season. If you live in a state where the seasons change a lot, drive past some of these bus stops. These kids got on Crocs. They don't need no coat. They wear hoodies every day. Come on, DD. They wear hoodies every day, all day. You be like, you are not cold. And in the summer, you be like, you're not hot. So these teenagers, they were walking. One had on a hoodie. The cops pull over, run up on them like they doing something. And the cops all jumbled his words. He was like, the teenager was like, well, what's going on? Why are you trying to why are you pulling up on me? What's going on? And he acted like the kid was in the car. The kid said, how you gonna pull? I ain't in no car. Then he said, I'm pulling you over as pedestrian walking or something, he said, because you jaywalked. Then the cop going to say later on, he found it suspicious that it's hot outside and he had on a hoodie. Are we really going back to that concept? Because you got a hoodie on, you scary? I hate to say it, but and it's a shame I had to do this. It's a shame I had to do this. And my son used to get so upset all the time. I'm like, take the hood off your head. Take the hoodie off your, I'll let you wear the hoodie, but don't be putting that hood on your head. It's a shame. But you got to protect your kids. It's a shame. Because you black, you can't wear a hoodie. He arrested him. When they got to the courthouse, the judge just threw it out. He said, this is ridiculous. The boy's mother said the cop was unhinged. And I'm not a lawsuit queen at all. I'm not like it. But listen, if you got something to sue about, sue. But I'm not one to go up in the Walmart, drop my own water on the floor, slip, and then be like, I'm suing. I'm not that chick. No, that ain't me. But you know, some people just sue for whatever. And so I say all to say that I'm not that lawsuit queen, but that mother need to sue. That whole thing was ridiculous. Wait till y'all see it. Ridiculous. I'm walking because I jaywalked. You getting all crazy, you locking me up, and now it's my hoodie, and now I was doing some sinister stuff before you saw me. Don't the people know how to make up a story when they dead wrong? It just got me thinking about Pepper on the Southwest flight. Now you took me off the plane because everybody was scared of me, but y'all gave away my seat. It's messy. But somebody put in that chat for me, exploitation and injustice. It's a whole lot going on. Listen, guys, we got stuff to talk about. It's Trending Topics Tuesday. I'm about to bring the people in the building. Okay? I hope y'all hitting that like button because that's your ticket in the building. And Diva coming through and she working and she grabbing these stories for you. Thank you, Roberta. Y'all know what I need because I need to bring the people on in. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Tuesday night Trending Topics, and we got stuff to talk about. Exploitation and injustice. They really want to do another Where's Wendy Williams? Unless Wendy Williams is ready to come back, be with her family, live her life, I don't need another segment because you're exploiting her. And for what? So she could get a check for somebody to steal it again? I'll pass. Then we got Irv Gotti. I mean, you know, I think just as many of these lawsuits that we are hearing about, you want to know the unfortunate part? I think there's thousands more that just are like, you know what? I'm just not, I don't even want to go down this road. I don't want to say anything. I'm just going to suppress it. Let it go. Sad. Then we got now you can wear a hoodie, whatever you want, because then you're going to be suspected of something. This is crazy. Let me bring the people on in the building. Hold on now 1 second here. Hey, Leo.
Hey Diva, happy Taco Tuesday.
Happy Taco Tuesday. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva, choo choo.
Choo choo. Hey, Felicia. Hey, E. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Wayne.
Hey,
Hey,
Diva.
Pierce. Hey. Hey, Dustin. All right, y'all. We in the building. We in the building. We about to have this conversation. We got things to talk about. You know, I might as well, because we're gonna go ahead and kind of get this particular story out the way. We're gonna talk about this Irv Gotti. These men, I don't, I honestly, I can't even wrap my mind around it. Um, it just it confuses me, it baffles me. The what pleasure you get out of forcing someone to do something to you. I don't understand it. But you know what I will say? And I'm not going to say it's every man. Nothing is ever every, but a lot of times, especially if you really, if this ain't your, you haven't been in a long-term relationship, if somebody's inviting you on some trip like that, they're expecting something. And we all know no means no, but I'm just telling that I'm just saying to people, don't find yourself in a situation that you may not be able to get out of. Just don't do it. I will have a picnic in the park. I will do local stuff, but I'm not going to go somewhere with somebody. I don't need to be on nobody's beach that bad. Let me go ahead and share screen, and you know, because this is only 4 pages, I will read over this particular young lady's suit because it's 4 pages. It's pretty short. She didn't have, add a lot of pictures, or she didn't add any pictures or anything like that in it. So it's Jane Doe. She doesn't want to give up her name, and I don't blame her. But I'm sure, unfortunately, because you know how easy it is with the internet, and hers was recent, people could probably get to Google it and find out who it is, right? Because she does give the time frame in which they was together. So Jane Doe, and the defendant is Irv Gotti. I guess you know what's interesting to me too. I don't know what he still had at this time, but she just names him. Where a lot of these other lawsuits, they was naming all of the companies that the person owns. Right? Everybody, just make sure they're on mute. So plaintiff Jane Doe, by and through her undersigned counsel, hereby states her complaint against defendant Irv Gotti for SANR based upon personal knowledge and information in belief. Jurisdiction and venue. The court has jurisdiction because the amount in controversy exceeds the jurisdictional limits of the lower courts that may otherwise have jurisdiction, not counting interest and course. Venue is proper in the circuit court of the 17th Judicial Circuit in and for Miami-Dade County, Florida, because a substantial portion of the conduct underlying this complaint occurred in this county. Plaintiff met Irv Gotti through a mutual friend at a poker tournament in the summer of 2020. Gotti invited plaintiff to go on vacation with him in St. Martin, to which she agreed. After flying her to St. Martin, Gotti coerced plaintiff into having relations with him. So as we have this conversation, everybody, just please watch your words. Gotti specifically threatened plaintiff that he would send her home if she did not comply with his demands. Accordingly, and due to his power and influence in the music world, she complied. Following the trip to St. Martin, Gotti and plaintiff entered into a relationship where for 2 years, plaintiff suffered constant abuse at Gotti's hands. During the abusive relationship, Gotti demanded that the plaintiff perform unwanted acts and often berated and scolded her. Notably, in January 2022, Gotti flew plaintiff out to Miami, and the two stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel. There, Gotti forced her to perform oral on him in an elevator. Later in the summer of that same year, he flew her out to Atlanta, and he again forced her to perform oral on him in an Uber. Following this event, the relationship ended. As a result of this SA relationship, plaintiff has suffered severe emotional and psychological harm for which she had to be committed to a psychiatric ward. Those injuries continue and affect plaintiff to this day. Moreover, plaintiff has been made aware that Gotti is slandering her in vast social media network in around Los Angeles. As a result, in addition to this severe emotional distress described above, plaintiff now fears leaving her home. Plaintiff realleges and incorporates the preceding paragraphs 1 to 15 as in fully set forth herein. Defendant's sexually offensive actions were conducted in his individual capacity and intended to cause harmful or offensive contact with plaintiff. A harmful, offensive, underprivileged, and unpermitted contact with plaintiff actually occurred as a result of the defendant's intent. The acts perpetrated by defendant against plaintiff were against plaintiff's will. As a result of the egregious conduct perpetrated by defendant against plaintiff, plaintiff has experienced and will continue to experience severe emotional anguish, pain and suffering, and loss of dignity damages. Plaintiff accordingly demands attorney fees and costs and compensatory damages in the amount to be determined at trial. Plaintiff realleges and incorporates the preceding paragraphs 1 through 20 as if fully set forth herein. The aforementioned SA and battery of plaintiff was intentional. Defendant's intentional actions and inaction set forth above caused severe and debilitating emotional distress to plaintiff. Defendant's conduct was malicious, wanton, and willful. Plaintiff seeks compensatory damages in amount to be determined at trial and an award of attorney fees, costs, and disbursements. As a direct and proximate result of defendant's intentional acts, plaintiff suffered temporary and permanent injuries, has endured significant pain and suffering of both mind and body, and will continue to endure such pain and suffering in the future, has incurred medical expenses in an undetermined amount and or will continue to incur medical expenses in the future, has suffered damages for the loss of enjoyment of life, and lost the ability to perform usual activities, resulting in a diminished quality of life and loss of enjoyment of life. Plaintiff hereby demands trial by jury of all trialable issues. Prayer for relief. Plaintiff requests the following relief for the violations set forth in this complaint. Compensatory damages, including those for mental anguish, an amount to be proven at trial that exceeds the jurisdictional limits of all lower courts that may otherwise have jurisdiction. And imposition of penalties available under applicable laws, litigation costs and expenses, including attorney fees and any other relief that the court deems just and proper. Dated July 11, 2024. Now, let me just add a little more context to this. Hold on one second. That's John Gotti. So, shocking claims. Murder Inc. Records co-founder Irv Gotti sued for alleged SA in Miami. The producer worked with artists such as Ashanti and Ja Rule at the label. DJ music producer Irv Gotti has been sued for alleged SA in Miami, Florida. A woman alleged that Gotti 54 SA and assaulted her in Miami, Atlanta, and St. Martin. That's him with a picture with Ashanti. Gotti, born Irvin Domingo Lorenzo, is a co-founder of the popular hip-hop label Murder Inc. Records, which signed artists Ashanti and Ja Rule. A lawsuit was filed on July 11th with a woman identified as Jane Doe, accusing the producer of SA and abusing her between 2020 and 2022. The suit currently seeks a trial by jury per the Miami New Times. As a result of this SA abuse relationship, plaintiff has suffered severe emotional and psychological harm for which she had to be committed to a psych ward, the lawsuit stated. The injuries continue and affect plaintiff to this day. Further details, the woman claims she met Gotti through a mutual friend in 2020 at a poker tournament, where the DJ invited her on an upcoming trip to St. Martin. She alleged that once arriving on the island, he pressured her into having sex with him and threatened to send her home if she didn't comply. Due to his power and influence in the music world, she complied. The lawsuit continued. The suit stated that the woman and Gotti began dating after the trip, where she suffered constant abuse. The woman alleged he berated her and demanded she perform non-consensual sexual acts. The lawsuit also alleged that their relationship ended after Gotti allegedly forced the woman to perform oral on him while in an Uber in Atlanta. No attorney has yet been listed on behalf of Gotti. The U.S. Sun had reached out to Gotti for further comment. In 1997, Gotti co-founded Murder Inc., which was launched under the Def Jam Recordings umbrella alongside his brother. The label released records by popular artists such as Ja Rule, Ashanti, and Vanessa Carlton. In 2005, Gotti and his brother were accused of using Murder Inc. to launder $1 million of drug money. The label's reputation suffered when the allegations surfaced, though they were later cleared of any wrongdoing in court. Recently, Gotti has shifted his career to focus on film and television. He launched the BET anthology series Tales in 2017 and debuted the Murder Inc. story, a 6-part docuseries, in 2022. Personal life. The producer was previously married to Debbie Lorenzo for over a decade before getting divorced sometime. I don't know what this is playing here. I want to stop it, but for sometime in 2013. They welcomed 3 children during their time together: Angie, Sony, and Jonathan Wilson Gotti. While still technically married, though separated, Debbie said Gotti began dating Ashanti. Her affair with the his affair with the rock review singer was reportedly part of the reason why his marriage to Debbie ended. Gotti and Ashanti began dating in the early 2000s while they were working together on music projects. This is a lot. Leo, your thoughts?
Oh, Lord have mercy. It's public knowledge that Irv Gotti is a crook and a pig as well, by the way he treated Ashanti. But this young lady still holds some responsibility, because I can't get over the fact, right? I'm still trying to parse out, is this just a terrible, terrible, horrible relationship? Because she was invited on the vacation. Once it was presented to her that he expected some favors back in return, he wanted cookies, or I'm going to send you home, then her obligation was to say, okay, what time is my plane?
That part.
I'm getting ready to get up out of here. This is not what I signed up for. So I don't doubt that he treated her horribly. I don't doubt that. But you know what? I don't negate. I still have a problem with her proximity with him for 2 years. Because let's keep this part in mind, right? So as I'm thinking about it, because I'm processing it now, this is the first time I've read the paperwork. In many of these instances where people or young women are engaged with these record labels and these moguls and things like that, they got a deal on the table, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times they feel like, okay, I have to do this because, you know, he's going to introduce me in the fashion world. He's going to put my record out or something like that. But he didn't have that type of leverage over her. So did this young lady just make a poor choice in continuing a relationship with him when you seen what a monster he was? And let's just say you still stayed at the little, you know, vacation down to the St. Martin, and he made you feel like you was obligated to do this and the third, but you still would have came back to the States, right? And just said, well, I'm not getting ready to F for him no more, right? I don't like the way he treated me. I'm not going to deal with him. So, you know, I don't know. I'm not even quite sure. I'm going to have to read the paperwork again, because I'm not quite sure, is this civil trial worthy. I don't, like I said, I don't doubt he treated her horribly. I don't doubt that at all. But she holds some responsibility in this too.
Yeah, and oh God, it's a mess. It's a mess, Leo. Thank you. I appreciate you. In my opinion, you up?
So Irv Gotti been a piece of ish. And I don't expect anybody that ever come in contact with him to say other thing than he a piece of ish.
Okay.
I think he uses women as if they are invalid, and whatever he wants is last key. He's never had a relationship where somebody has left the relationship and felt like he was respectful. He's never treated a woman right. I've never liked him. I feel like he's a terror. And yes, this woman has some liability, but as women, we should have the right to say no and it be respected, regardless to what you do for us. This is our body, and we should have the right to say yes or no over our body without feeling like we owe you anything because you took me on a trip or you bought me something. That doesn't mean you get my body. So yes, while she does have some level of responsibility and she should have got her behind on the plane and came back home, I don't feel like it's valid enough for him to feel like because he took her somewhere, he owns her.
Right. Whew. I appreciate you. In my opinion, Katrina, you're up.
Okay, hold on, y'all. I'm in the bathroom. First of all, every woman or man should know never go out of town with a man or go on vacation with a man without having your backup plan, your money, your card, whatever. So
Wait, hold on. Katrina, say that again.
I said every woman should know or man should not go out of town without having your backup plan with your own money, your own resources, your own way to get back home. Because everything's not going to go the way that you want it to go, even though you think it will. So you just need to have your own. So because she could have got on the plane and went back home instead of having instead of having herself being assaulted. And it's ridiculous and it's sad, and still no man should take control of a woman that way anyway, because we already know how Irv Gotti get down. But hopefully she get her resolution and they find a way to get over this. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. E, you're up.
Sorry, been having so many issues. So, hi.
Hey.
There are a few moving parts to this. So I'll start where Leo left off. The easiest part for me is the slander, because Leo mentioned previous women. You know, this is easily believable and provable because he has a history of degrading and disrespecting women who he has sexually demeaned. You mentioned Ashanti's name a few times, and she is one of them. The things that he has said about her publicly, the things that he has called her other than her name, it's just deplorable. So, yes, I can believe that he did this to Jane Doe and many others because this is his pattern. So the slander, I believe. And if she mentioned that and the attorneys put that in the paperwork, I believe they may have some piece of evidence. I believe that. Next, the abuse and the non-consensual acts. I believe that because I understand the way Irv Gotti thinks a little bit. I understand his psychology. And yes, these two were dating. That's the way it sounds based upon the complaint. Dating and vacationing. But just because we are dating, it does not mean I have to have intercourse with you. I don't. The power dynamics between these two is so slanted that there is no way that she could ever feel comfortable with telling this man no without consequences. That's what I believe. And this is a man of power, money, resources, and he has people on payroll. And I would venture to say that he is dangerous. There is a power dynamic here, and I do think that should be recognized. She said that he was slandering her and impacting her reputation, which indicates to me that this may be someone who works within the entertainment industry in some capacity. So threatening me, coercing me to provide you with oral pleasure in an elevator where there are probably cameras, when I have already expressed disinterest, that is a problem. And that is unlawful. Even if she went along with it afterward, it's still SA. And it's just the law. I looked it up. It's in Florida. If I say no or do not provide clear, unambiguous agreement to engage in intercourse, it's SA. And consent can be withdrawn at any time. And the law says that. And consent cannot be coerced or compelled by force, threat, deception, or what does it say? Intimidation. And from what she has listed in that complaint, I can see clear examples of that. The threatening, the intimidation. Oh yeah, I have to do this or you're going to do something else to me. I hear the common sense coming down through the panel as far as when you go on vacation, you have to have a second plan. I don't know this young lady's background or her story, but evidently she didn't have a backup plan. And just because you don't have a backup plan, it doesn't mean that somebody gets to take advantage of you in this way. He needs to pay.
Whew, he needs to pay. Thank you, E. Felicia, you're up.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm listening. I'm processing. There wasn't a lot of context, I thought, that I heard in what you read to us, Diva. So on the face of it, I don't think she has much of a claim.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with Leo. What time is the flight leaving?
Yeah.
I'll get my things ready.
Uh-huh.
I absolutely agree with opinion. You have no right to take anyone's physical person to do any physical thing with just because you paid for a dinner. Because I'm going to bring it back home. Talking about dinner. We took a walk over to the Starbucks and you bought me a piece of cake and a coffee. We went to the McDonald's for a Happy Meal. Or maybe you even purchased a ticket and took me to the Beyonce concert. I absolutely agree with Katrina. I don't care what your agenda is. No one has the right to do any of that, to assume any of that. But unfortunately, this whole society in this country, dating, particularly with men, you know, they have X amount of dates and then you're supposed to engage in some kind of sexual interaction. So yes, but there's this thing that's troubling me, and maybe the folks in the chat can talk back to me so I can kind of understand. She said she went to a poker thing, and then the next day they said, "Hey, we going to St. Martin. Do you want to come?"
I'm gonna talk to the people now.
And she said, "Yeah, I could do that." The first thing I know you got to have is a passport. So she's been out of the country before. She's traveled somewhere before. So she knows it takes money. Traditionally, an American Express card, don't live life without it. Takes cash, okay? Takes the wardrobe, you know, because you're going down, some sunblock, whatever. So she didn't think that she needed to have all of that. So she decided, I believe, to trade her body for a couple of more days in St. Martin.
Whoa. Hold on, people. Buckle your seatbelt. Come on, talk. Talk. Because she puts in her own lawsuit. He didn't write this. She puts in her own lawsuit. He said, then you'll have to go home.
Right. And like Leo said, what time is the flight? You go pack your things. If you don't have your own resources, as Katrina said, because, you know, you should, but if you found yourself in a situation where you didn't, you're going to fly out and you're going to go home. But she made the decision to trade sexual favors to stay in St. Martin.
Oh my gosh.
And then according to her suit, she kept trading.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Until there was a break. And now she says she has long-term mental health issues. And I believe her. But what is the liability of Mr. Gotti? We know he's for the streets.
For the streets. Come on now.
This was 2020. This wasn't 2002. This was like yesterday. She know that.
Yeah. You talking. Keep talking.
So I'm perplexed. I'm perplexed. I didn't see who the attorney is, Diva, on this.
I could go back for you because I know that's your thing.
I got it. I know who the attorney is. That's what I meant to ask you, Felicia. It's Estenberg and Baum from New York, New York.
Sounds like
they're good. They're a good firm.
I'm sorry, but I don't know them. They sound like a boutique firm. But nonetheless, they took her case. I'm going to gather they're just looking for a short payout. She's saying she wants a trial by jury. She don't really want that. Any little bit of stability she has left, she'll lose it on that stand.
She would, and we just talking truth, y'all. We y'all know how we do over here.
It's unfortunate. Because I know the other day I had said that I find that so many young women are lonely. And they make these decisions. They think, oh, this person likes me. I'll be with them. They're going to be cool. And no. Trash is trash. I don't care if you're in the country, out of the country.
You better talk.
I wish her well.
I do too.
But I don't believe she has any substance, any merit on the basis of what you read to me.
Yeah. Sad. Yeah, thank you. Where am I at? When you're up?
First of all, I hope this girl gets a lot of help, mental or whatever, because if you can just jump and go with somebody out the country like that, what are your motives? What are you looking for? And to me, it just, of course, it's never right. You say no, it's that woman's body. It's just no exceptions, no excuse. But at the same time, it sounds like it was good till it wasn't good. I don't know what happened, because it got to be way more to this story, because I just can't imagine. Let me tell you this. I had a friend years ago, and I introduced him to a friend, friend. Okay, and I guess somewhere online, they got close or whatever. And she told me, she said, he R'd me like 15 times. I said, what? So he went to her house and she let him in 15 times. And every time it happened. Okay. So I'm supposed to believe that. I'm not trying to shame this woman or whatever, but like Felicia said, if I was on the stand, I'd have to show there's some liabilities with her. I just have an issue with the first time it happened. Okay, you didn't want to leave St. Martin, but then it happened again. And it sounds like it happened again. And again. I mean, how long do you have to, or how many times do you have to put yourself in harm's way? I mean, this could have very well been something else. Not an essay, but unaliving. I mean, you don't know this man. And you allowed yourself to be in the company away from your surroundings in the company of somebody like this. Maya Angelou said, once somebody show you who they are, believe them.
Ooh, you better repeat that right there.
So I'm like, I don't see where's the communication. This is not what you wanted. And I don't know what you thought. I mean, maybe she thought he was going to change. Maybe she thought she was the girl that was going to change him, make him, you're going to love me. You would. I don't know, but I just hope she gets a whole lot of help. Because it just sounds like it's more to this. I just don't see. I'm never for SA, but at the same time, why would you keep running back? I mean, are you looking for something? Are you willing to exchange your body for a career? And it happens all the time. And then you don't get that career. I'm done.
I appreciate you. And Raheem, when we know you are, but you are correct. It's a lot of holes in this story. So after that happened on the trip and you decided to stay, why after that did you get into a relationship with this man? What did she think was going to be different? And then in public places, he's forcing you to do things you don't want to do, but he forced you allegedly from the day one, from the onset. Julius, you're up.
We all know the man at hand here is gross. This ain't the first rendezvous that we heard about this man. By the way, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, this ain't the first rendezvous that we heard about the oblivious fool. Because he's both the dumb and stupid. Her claims, though, and I say this as a victim and a survivor of SA. Why? My thing is this: why get in a relationship with that fool? Why? What was so appealing? He showed you that he was gross, girl. That should have been your biggest red flag. You should have ran the other way. So then that gave you less a credibility. I'm sorry for her initial trauma. I want to make that clear. But you don't go and get in a relationship with a clown like that. And so that made her lose a credibility. Because then he can say, well, you was in relations with me for this amount of time, you didn't care to report it then. That's what he's going to say. And she gave him all the ammo to say that. Now, like everyone is saying, I do agree. I do want to know more information. That's it.
Appreciate you. Dustin, you're up.
Can you hear me, Diva?
Yes, I can.
I want to say that this is a very sad situation, and I wish her justice. But there's always two parts to a story, so we're going to have to figure out his part as well. But I hope she gets justice, and very much, Diva, because this is a very touchy situation for me, as you know, and it's my situation. It brings up my situation emotionally. So that's all I'm going to say to that question, Diva. But it's very emotional for me as well.
All right, I appreciate you. I appreciate everybody for hanging in there with this conversation. We'll see how this pans out. We're following probably about, on average, about probably, there's probably over 20 lawsuits. I mean, out of the 20, 9 of them belong to Diddy that we got to stay connected to. So 74% of the people on the platform said, the passengers on the platform, 74% of them said, he need to pay her. And 25% said he does not. We're going to stay connected to the story. I'm going to roll right into our next story. And our next story is, everybody please be on
Hey, Diva, how about they lock all of them up?
Well, listen. But see, the thing is, though, now, most of the cases we've been hearing, they've been out of the range of them being able to have criminal charges against them. But to me, 2020 should be within the statute of limitations. So if she was R'd in SA, why not take this thing to the police station? Why go straight civil? Because you can always do civil afterwards. But I will continue on and stay connected to the story. So let's move into Wendy Williams, okay? Her best friend, Reggie. And listen, if anybody had anybody that they speak to on a regular basis or every day, and then abruptly that just stops and goes away, that is traumatizing. It's sad. You do miss that person because you smile when they call you, like you're expecting that call, and even when you don't hear from them, you're like, okay, wait a minute. You realize, oh my God, it's like 10 a.m. or something like that, and I usually hear from this person by XYZ time. So Reggie said her and Wendy Williams spoke all the time, and I believe it because Wendy Williams will often talk about Reggie right on her Wendy Williams syndicated show. And when she was going on break from her show, part of that time when she would go on break, part of it she was saying she about to go spend some time with Reggie, her longtime friend. Wendy Williams' birthday is July 18th. Okay, so 2 days from now. And that's beautiful. Happy birthday, Wendy. So now her friend is saying that Lifetime got the nerve to say they want to do another part of this Where's Wendy Williams, and she's saying they just trying to exploit her. Like, this is crazy. So let's get into this story. So, Friends Fury. Wendy Williams' best friend questions new installment of Lifetime docuseries. Haven't they exploited her enough? Okay, Reggie is pissy hot mad. So Lifetime producers previously hinted at another installment. So Wendy Williams' best friend has been left questioning chatter around a new installment of her Lifetime docuseries, Where is Wendy Williams? In an exclusive interview with the U.S. Sun, Wendy's childhood friend, Regina, pounded question from Lifetime producers who hinted at another installment focused on the former daytime TV host in their docuseries. What more could they do to the woman? Haven't they exploited her enough? The star's incredulous friend position. She would never want to be seen with her wig off on national TV, Regina said, referencing the concerning rambling interaction between a wigless Wendy and Black China seen on a Lifetime series. Regina said that once, during the peak of her success, Wendy was crying over a segment she had done. When Regina asked her friend what happened, Wendy told her it had nothing to do with her performance. She told me she was crying because her wig was crooked. She was upset about a crooked wig. Can you imagine her wig being completely off? The upset friend continued. Furthermore, Regina took issue with other portrayals that left die-hard fans aghast during the series. She was very secretive about things, like she would not have had bottles of liquor out for people to see. She said about one scene where the star's then manager, Will Selby, was shaking a bottle of vodka. Wendy in her apartment and accusing her of drinking a majority of it that morning. She would not have had her blue Tiffany box open with stacks of cash out and jewelry. She would never have done that, Regina said, referencing another disconcerting scene. Wendy was afraid of the killer. Everyone knows that. She would never provoke anybody like that. Regina said what Lifetime sold to her to be a part of the series was not what was ultimately the product. Let's just remind ourselves of this, sad scene from the series Where's Wendy Williams?
Free from the Wendy Williams show. So now I can absolutely pull this down and show my boobs. You understand what I'm saying? Can I show you?
Well, no, you don't need to.
Okay. In a good way. This is lymphedema, and I can only feel now 2%. Do you see what this looks like? There's no cure for this. There's no pill for this.
If you watch that series, it was very sad. Did not show Wendy in the best light. So her friend is saying it was supposed to be a comeback kid story, not crush Wendy and make her unproducible. It was frustrating to watch that and think that you are going to have a whole different story, Regina concluded. Entertainment Tonight had interviewed Lifetime producer Mark Ford, who hinted at another installment. He claimed he's spoken to people who are close. Pause that. And she has seen the film and she's fine with it, according to the people that have spoken to her. Now, I'm not going to go through this again here. And this says Wendy Williams, alcohol-related brain damage, aphasia, and frontotemporal dementia diagnosis. Pretty much they had said that they told and warned Wendy ahead of time. And at the time, she was still with Kevin Hunter Sr., and her son was allegedly, at this appointment also, where they told her if she doesn't stop drinking, that the condition is going to get worse. He continued, and the story's not over. I could say that much. The producer added, he's been in touch with Wendy's family, and they're very supportive of the project. I think, this isn't the end of this story. There'll be more. I don't think the world has seen the last of Wendy Williams, he added. Where is Wendy? Over a year ago, in May of 2023, the TV host was placed in a rehab facility and has not been seen publicly since. During the Lifetime docuseries and interviews about the star, Wendy's family claimed they didn't know where she was and could not reach her. The people who love her cannot see her, Wanda Finney, Wendy's sister, told People. Regina also questioned her childhood friend, who she speaks with numerous times a day, who hasn't called her since vanishing in 2023. She's somewhere that she can't reach her phone because Wendy can always get to a phone. Because if she can get to a phone, she'd be calling me, Regina claimed. Where is Wendy? And why is no one asking that question? And why is no one answering that question? Why can't they produce Wendy or an actual statement from Wendy or a picture of Wendy? Where is Wendy? The star friend further press. Wendy's guardianship. After having been absent from the Wendy Williams show for several months in 2022, Wendy's bank filed a petition to hold a guardianship hearing, and she was locked out of her bank accounts. Wendy's attorney had claimed Wells Fargo is in possession of several millions of dollars worth of funds in a filing obtained by the U.S. Sun at the time. The attorney for the TV host claimed that her former financial advisor advised the bank that Wendy was of unsound mind, and as a result, Wells Fargo has denied her access to her accounts. In response, the bank referenced its authority to freeze the accounts, to pause or reject instructions for a proposed transaction pending judicial or administrative remedies should they suspect financial exploitation, dementia, or undue influence. That's when Wells Fargo moved to petition the court for a guardianship hearing. The daytime TV host was then placed in a court-appointed guardianship under attorney Sabrina Morrissey soon after. Since being placed in a rehab facility in May of last year by the Guardian, Wendy's family claims they don't know where Wendy is. The family has alleged the only person who knows where Wendy is her court-appointed guardian, Sabrina. Whew. Another segment is just cruel and unusual punishment. We don't need to see another segment of Where is Wendy Williams. Leo, what are your thoughts on this story?
Depressing, especially as you show me these pictures of the other segment that other time, and I don't understand what exactly, if you're going to do another part 2 or part 4 or whatever to that documentary. She hasn't been seen in over a year. What's going to be your footage?
Right.
I don't understand what else. What more are you planning on doing? That's going to be positive, a positive reflection of Wendy and her story. Leave that woman alone. Leave her alone. if you're gonna do another part to the Where is Wendy, then it needs to be the part where there is Wendy and she shows up and she is the one that has signed off and say, hey, I want to do this. And she's the producer and the architect of the whole story, not other people. If you're gonna do it again, then it needs to be done by her. And if she don't have the mental capacity to do it, then leave it alone. I don't think that I don't know what the family's goal is, and I don't even know if I actually believe the article saying that, okay, well, the family's all in on it, and they're okay with them doing another segment or another part 2 or part 4 or whatever part they're doing for a new documentary of Where is Wendy, if Wendy is not going to be present and her family ain't seen her and her homegirl ain't seen her bestie from back in the day. So I don't like any of it. I don't like any of it. Show me Where's Wendy. Like Regina says, like Reg, she called her Reg. Like Reg said, I ain't seen no pictures. I've not heard her voice. I don't want to see anything or talk to nobody about Wendy if Wendy ain't speaking for herself. And with her wig on right, her clothes on right, and her makeup on right. Somebody taking actual care of her.
You better tell
Even
her.
if it's just to get on camera and say hello, and I can see that she's being taken care of.
Yeah. And you know what, Raheem, I like what you said. How about we do a segment, if they want to do anything, where's Wendy's money? $55 million. Do that.
It's gone, Diva. It's gone. And I want to know who we gonna blame for that? Who we holding accountable for that? Who we gonna look into? Who getting ready to answer for where is Wendy money? If the judge already said there ain't no money, I want to know who got it.
Who got it? Oh, good gosh. Good gosh. In my opinion, you're up.
Well, I don't want to see another Where is Wendy, okay? I want to know where is Sabrina. Okay, because we didn't see Sabrina when we was watching Where is Wendy. And if she's supposed to be the one that's taking care of her, why we ain't see her not once? I need to see where's Sabrina. And Sabrina need to tell us where's the money, okay, and what she been doing, because she didn't know nothing. Okay, she was trying to sue Lifetime before when they was doing Where's Wendy, like she didn't know nothing. So for her to be the conservator and she don't know nothing, no, we need a Where's Sabrina. Okay, Sabrina, bring your documents when we see you. We got some answers.
Not Sabrina, bring the documents. You better talk. Katrina, you up?
Okay. What I want to say is, are we sure that Wendy's doing this? Why is her son and family members agreeing to this, knowing that how she was on the last documentary they did? Where's the money from that? Who's leeching off all her money? Who's keeping the money? And why would the family even want to sign off on something that they know is not good for her, especially her son? Unless, I mean, they said the condition that she had is incurable. And we seen how Bruce Willis doing when, they supposed to have like the same symptoms or the same disease. So why would you even put your mom back through that for money? For what? For somebody else to just take it and you won't have it? That's ridiculous and stupid. I don't know what Wendy is. I don't know what her family's doing, but all of them sound pretty tricky to me. Something ain't clicking right. Something is not adding up. Why would you even put her back through that same situation that she just got out of? I don't understand that. And you didn't see any profits from the money. So I don't get it. But either or, I just hope Wendy gets some rest or whatever she's doing, and people just need to leave her alone. That's all I got, Diva.
I appreciate you. E, you're up.
I agree with, in my opinion, I think we need to see the conservator. And I'll be on the card by myself. I do feel like we do need to have another documentary, because this way people would know where she is and what's going on. Because I remember Kelvin came out and said he didn't know anything that was going on. I think the family said they didn't know where she was. They knew she was in a facility. She can call them, but they can't call her. People have questions. And the person who has started all of this momentum is the friend who's saying, I think you said the person's name is Reggie. Reggie is saying, oh, I haven't heard from Wendy. Wendy used to call me every day. People want to know where Wendy is. And so the only way that people can know where Wendy is if y'all do another Where is Wendy? I feel like that will offer some people some sense of clarity. People want to know what she's doing, how she's living, and not just her fans. Her family and friends want to know where she is. And so, yeah, I think they should sign on, and I think it should be an ensemble cast. I think bring on the family, bring on Reggie, and it should be mandatory that Sabrina's there. So, yeah, I'm all for it.
You know what I'm thinking, E? I'm thinking they're going to really primarily use some unseen footage that they had from before. But I do hear what you're saying. But I'm thinking that they ain't got nothing new. They just going to use some unseen footage because they want to rake in those ratings for them was golden, and they want to rake those in. But those are just my thoughts. That's what's running in my head. But I hear what you're saying. Wayne, did I come to you because my screen shifted a little bit? Wayne, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay.
One, I don't know how they can keep your family, your immediate family. That just doesn't sound right, because the immediate family wouldn't be any threat, like her son. They wouldn't be any threat to her. So I don't know why they don't know. Now this is things that we don't know. But I'm hoping that during this time that she's gone, she's, on the way to rehabilitation and able to be back to come in the public, back to the public, but again, I wonder, all this time she's been gone, and now they're talking about a documentary and nobody knows where she's at. Sound like a production is going on someplace. And I think, like you said, footage they had from other, before, and then new footage, and I think they're going to try to do it and show her in a good light. I mean, even if she ain't, I think they're going to try to make it, try to gaslight us, but I don't know the law, but I don't understand how they can keep your immediate family away from you, and don't know anything. That just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, you went back on mute, Wayne. Julius, did I come to you because my screen shifted?
No, ma'am.
Okay, you're up.
We all had the same question. Since we've seen the initial documentary, and in my opinion on this, where is Sabrina? Because towards the end, when her health issues started to show more, she's like, oh, this is locked down. So where is Sabrina? I hope Wendy is okay. I hope she is getting some kind of treatment, But where is Sabrina? Where is the money? Because her son should be in charge of her money at this point. And he should know where his mother is. He should be able to see his mother. That's my thoughts.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Julius.
I have a question, Diva. So is there anything in any background stories of Kelvin Jr. trying to, because if I was Kelvin, I would hire an attorney, I would go to the court system, and I would request that I see my mother. And I want to hear what the answer is for why I can't see my mama. I don't understand how come the family can't pool their money together, get the number an attorney, and we're not going to work on the plane of where the money is at as the family. Right. We just want to see her.
Yeah, this is bad.
Prisoners get to see their family, Diva. Even when you get clink, and you up in Sing, you still get to see your family.
That's facts. You know, this whole guardianship thing is I think a whole nother beast. And you know, Sharon Stone, I want to say, she recently came out and said that all her money when she got sick was taken, and when she got better, she said everything was in somebody else's name. This thing runs far and deep. And I think once the courts get involved and makes decisions, because when this first happened, I was just digging into this whole thing. This other woman said she was of right sound in mind, and she was fighting forever to get out of a guardianship. It seems like if you don't have the right things in place and you got a nickel, dollar, dime, and somebody takes over, you wake up and you better, and all your money is gone. But I don't know how many people saw that story. I just didn't get to do it. Maybe I'll do it today, later, even though I'm late to the party. But yeah, Sharon Stone, the actress, I want to say she said 18 million, but don't quote me on the number. But she had a stroke or something like that, and she said when she got better, everything she worked for was gone. Gone. So I don't know how this thing works, but I do agree with you, Leo. At the very best, why can't I just go to the court and say, why can't I see my mother? I would be kicking and screaming. They would be sick of me. If NBC wanted to speak to me, CBS, the Post.
Look, me with my own little sign down there to the courthouse. I won't see my mama. There would be nothing that nobody could do to stop me from being able to go see my mama. I would come up. I write my Congress people. I would be on their neck.
On their neck. And you know, YouTube, and I'm sure, listen, these TikToks, all the social media now, you keep crying on the social media, and the people that you don't even know will help push your agenda. To the people be like, we got to do something to shut this noise down. I feel like, and I don't want to judge them because I don't know what they are not doing, but I feel like they could be doing more.
I'm still baffled that somebody can be over your money and you saying my family member's taking it, but you can take it.
That
but my family members can't. I don't get that. I really don't understand it. In that case, I'd rather for my family members to have than you. How can you be over my money and you telling me what to do, and I'm paying you to tell my family or to keep you away from my family getting the money, but you getting the money? I don't get that. I don't even think that should even be legal. You getting all my money and I'm broke, gotta pay taxes. I'm behind on taxes because you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. I'm getting put out of my house. I don't get that. That's not making no sense to me. I don't even understand how that can be legal. That's wrong. That's just totally wrong.
It's a whole racket, right? But let me tell you this. I would be suing as a family. I would be suing Wells Fargo because y'all started this thing to say I was exploited. Give me a minute. I'm gonna come to you. I would sue them to say y'all started this saying I was being exploited, and then y'all got me in this guardianship, and then I still got exploited anyway. Wells Fargo would have to give me my $55 million back. Go ahead, in my opinion.
Do you remember when you broke this story and you was talking about the lady that her mama was up under conservatorship and she didn't even know her mama passed away?
Yep.
Until after they made the arrangements. Yep. See, that's what I'm saying. These conservatorships is pocketed where the judge and the conservator are the only ones that know at all times where these people are. And it's nothing that you can do once they put these conservatorships in place. And that's the reason why right now, as y'all are living, y'all need to have y'all a living trust. So if something happens to you, you have people in place that can take up for you. So this doesn't happen to you. Because once the courts get involved, you're not going to see nothing.
Oh, good gosh. Oh, I appreciate you. Thank you. In my opinion, where am I? Am I at Dustin?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
I want to say that I don't want to see another I don't want to see another Lifetime docuseries about Wendy Williams, because I think that Wendy Williams is not in a good sound mind for doing another documentary, and I think that she needs to live her life, diva, and move on, and she can get her money, but I don't want to see another. I do not want to see another documentary because it was very sad, and I want to try to remember her the way she was before all of this. Just like if it was any of my best friends, if anybody else was sick, yes, I would help them, because I am a person of a sound mind, and I'm a person that loves a lot of people, and I would help my best friend out. But I wouldn't want to put her on another documentary series. I can go on without that one documentary series. The documentary series was awful.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Dustin. Tay, you're up.
Well, good evening, everybody. How's everybody day doing? This is a hot mess right here. I don't want to see another Wendy Williams. Where's Wendy? Another document, because we all see how Wendy was on that document. Let me tell you, Sabrina, where is Wendy money? She want her money now, not tomorrow, not for next year. Where's her money at? Don't play with us. Don't play with us, Wendy fans out there. Don't play with us, because where you at? You didn't show your face after the document came out, and you still ain't show your face till this day right here. And Wendy family, y'all better need to come up till it come together and get Wendy back, because this ain't make no sense right here. And so and Wendy, her sister, you supposed to be a lawyer.
Oh, sure.
I'm just getting this family a side eye right here. You know the law.
Okay.
You know the law. You should know the law. You should know the right. This ain't make no sense right here. Probably she don't trust her family, diva. That's probably what it is. Now let me break this down. Well, we all know what happened to James Brown, and made his soul rest in peace. Remember how it was between he did not make the will when he passed away? That's how it is right here. I'm just bringing some fact and some resource right there too.
I appreciate
That's
you.
all, diva.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Yeah, praying for
Hey,
Wendy.
Diva, before you move on, can I say something real quick?
Of course.
I saw somebody put in the chat that they saw where a trust can still have, somebody can have a trust and they can still have the conservatorship. That's the reason why you have to have your trust drawn up the right way. In a trust, you can have yours if in case something happens to you, this is who I want over my conservatorship. That acts in the place of if something happens to you and you're incapacitated, you can't say nothing. They have to follow the rules of your trust. But y'all need to talk to an attorney about y'all trust. But yes, it's in there.
I appreciate
and
you.
I don't think Felicia spoke.
Oh, Felicia, I skipped you. My screen was shifting. That's why. Felicia, you're up.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you, Diva. I didn't. I usually don't comment on Wendy, but I'm always in prayer for her son. As I'm listening to everyone, I'm so saddened each time, because I can only imagine the incredible emotional distress this kid is going through.
Yeah.
I don't think he has support in the family, because you're absolutely correct. You get your own lawyer and you go to a court and you say, this is what's happening to me. I am the sole heir and this is my mother and I have every right to know where she is. But they're not encouraging that. And I think we all have an idea why. So he's always on my prayer list. Thank you.
I thank you. I appreciate you. Did I skip anybody? Everybody's good? All right. Thank you, guys. All right. Yeah, this is, the whole situation is sad. And if they do approach another docuseries, I don't want it to be the foolery. I don't want it to be unseen footage that they take when she was in that state and still in that townhouse. Do not want it. Let's roll into this last story. This last story is teenagers, cops telling them to not even pull over because they wasn't driving. I'm just going to go ahead and get right into the story because I had to look at it a couple of times and I was like, this is just, I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's just craziness. So unhinged white cop randomly arrests black teenager 17 for jaywalking on a Delaware street. I hope this is still the video I want to show. If not, I have to just reassess it here, but I think this is it.
Why are you stopping me? What you stopping me for? For what? What are you trying to detain me for? Stop walking. What you trying to detain me for? All right. Tell we chilling. What y'all trying to detain me for? Yo, right now we're stopping you for a pedestrian violation. You guys got IDs on you? Pedestrian violation of what? Do you have ID on you? Pedestrian ID. All right, turn around, put your hands behind your back. No, buckle in. No, buckle in. No. Stop. Your hands on me, bro. What are you touching me? Stop. All right, mom, come on, bro. Put your hands on me, bro. Hey, boom, my oh, bro, my mom. You got anything on you? Nah, why? What am I being searched for? Right now, you're being detained. You're uncooperating. Nah, you of what? Traffic? How am I being a traffic stop? I'm not in the vehicle, sir. It's called a pedestrian stop. Of what? What is the pedestrian? You want to shut the up and let me explain it to you? What is the pedestrian? You want to shut up and let me explain it to you? You crossed the road without using the crosswalk. Oh, all right. All right. That's what you stopped for right now. All right. What's your name?
A teenager who was arrested for jaywalking had the last laugh after a judge threw out his ridiculous case. The 17-year-old was on the sidewalk with friends in a suburb in Delaware on June 29th this year when the group realized cops were preparing to approach them. Perhaps sensing something was not right, he took out his phone and began filming the interaction, capturing the moment two officers pulled up to the group. In the clip, an officer is heard aggressively demanding they stop and provide identification, but is reluctant to tell them why. Within just 1 minute, the teenager is arrested. While he exacted some of the revenge when a judge later threw out the case, the teen's mother has since branded the officer's conduct as absolutely unhinged. Video sees several patrol cars pulling up alongside a group of teens before an officer can be heard yelling, "Stop it, you guys stop." When the teen asks why he's being stopped, the officer simply repeats his order, "I'm telling you to stop." "What you stopping me for?" the teen asks again before the officer responds, "You're about to be detained right now if you don't stop." The teen can be heard asking for clarification for a third time. "What you trying to detain me for? Tell us," he asks. "Stop walking and just chill. Right now, we're stopping you for a pedestrian violation," the officer responds before he asks for ID. "Pedestrian violation of what?" the teen asks. But the patience of the officer appears to grow thin, fast, and without warning, immediately pulls out handcuffs to place the teen under arrest. "All right, turn around and put your hands behind your back," the officer demands. When asked what he was being searched for, the agitated officer simply says he is being detained as part of a traffic stop. "Right now, you're being detained because you are uncooperating with a traffic stop," the officer says. But the explanation seems far-fetched to the teen. How am I being a traffic stop? "I'm not in a vehicle, sir," the teen replies. "It's called a pedestrian stop," the officer responds. But when the teen asks exactly what that means, the officer loses his patience. "You wanted to shut the F up and let me explain it to you? You crossed the road without using a crosswalk." The teen was the only one out of his group of friends to be ticketed, but ultimately the charges against him dismissed by a judge. "I don't understand if he thought it was going to get me angry or what he thought it was going to possibly do, the teen said to Delaware Online. I don't know. I'm still in shock about it. The boy's mother, Paula Wright, said the officer involved in the arrest was unhinged. I think they're absolutely unhinged, to be honest with you. I think that they're the biggest gang in Delaware, Wright said. The cop for him to get out of the car and say, stop right there, give me your ID right now, I'm going to detain you. What sort of approach is that, she asked. The police have maintained they were right to stop the group of young people, claiming they have been observed behaving both recklessly and suspiciously. Officers witnessed the group run across the Newcastle Avenue without utilizing a proper crosswalk while crossing the road. One of the individuals was observed running recklessly through active traffic, nearly causing an accident, says Senior Corporal Richard Chambers in a statement. It was claimed another teen was walking holding his waistband, possibly to give an impression to others that he might be carrying a weapon in his pants. Officers said the two of the teens have been wearing hooded sweatshirts with the hoods up, which also made officers suspicious. Officers observed this as odd behavior as it was approximately 80 degrees, the statement said. This is so unbelievable. And every time you hear these stories, you're like, really, that happened? It's just, I don't even know what to say. Leo, your thoughts?
Don't get me started. I know what to say. They don't see our young men walking the streets as human beings, as children who are or people who have a mother, a father, just like their children, that I'm quite sure that these officers have, that they think that they need to be respected walking down the street. So it's one thing to ask questions, right? They in a suburban area, you ask questions. Where you coming from? Even that's irritating, but you still start out with asking questions, not stop right there. Not stop right there. I'm stopping you for a traffic stop. You don't even know what the F you talking about. To bother these young men walking down, these children walking down the street. It shows to me that the Delaware police up there in Newcastle have been getting away with doing a whole bunch of foul stuff. I saw how it was another police car that showed up as well. So they came there with the foolishness. They pulled up on some BS. They pulled up on some BS. It really reeks of why you in this neighborhood and what you doing. And we get ready to stop you before you because believe me, when I tell you about the police, I live in the South, and it is not to protect the people, it's to protect the property of those who have money or those who live in the suburbs. So before you get into any ish, we get ready to detain you. We doing a public service.
Woo.
So, the mother needs to sue Newcastle. They need to do better. And I'm not saying that they don't have the right to police the neighborhood, because I got the end part where they said, well, we don't feel like we did anything wrong. They was jaywalking. So the people that's down there to the target that the right-hand side, that don't look like me out there in the target robbing y'all blind. But y'all down here on the street writing tickets for the jaywalking? Man, you better get off my line with this right here. And I'm so glad that they...
Leo, I'm going to let you finish. But you know what the foolery really was? You going to say jaywalking, but then later you want to try to say, oh, they was acting suspicious before, and now you trying to say they was playing in traffic, and they
on the suburban street. I ain't even see not one car pass by.
Come on now. They was.
I ain't even see not one car pass by.
Right, and then one of them was holding up their pants like they had a weapon. They need to stop, because if that person was holding up their pants and they even thought they had a weapon, they would have drew their weapons before they even got out and was talking to them kids.
Exactly right. It wouldn't have been another car. It would have been 5 cars, because I see it happen. 5 cars would have pulled up.
You better talk. He
And
just
it's a
wanted to
good
add
thing.
2110 afterwards. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Girl, you go, Diva. They irritate me so because I see this often in the community that I live in. It is actually factually 69% white, like 20% black, and another 10% or something other. And I see this all the time. You cannot even move and live your free life without somebody. If you young, you can't even live your free life, especially if your parents got $1 or $2 and you live in a community that everybody don't look like you. Mm-hmm. My brother went through it. And so it is to me, it just says to me, what you doing here? Why you here? I see you in this neighborhood, you up to no good, and we getting ready to press you. And to these young men credit, they took it lightly. They did not turn into aggressors.
That was a blessing, right?
It was a blessing.
He did a good job because he got a right to say, well, what you, and then when he told them that it was for jaywalking pretty much, he said, all right.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Because that's all he was asking for was an explanation. You know what? So that even further tells me they wasn't doing all that menacing stuff that he said, because if they were, he wouldn't even handle it like that. And even the other friends, while he was getting arrested, was just standing there. They told a bunch of lies, those cops. But go ahead. In my opinion,
this is why it's important to get in your politics. Because while some people think we finna make America great again, they finna make America back again, okay? So stop and frisk is gonna be a thing that's gonna come back, okay? Because this is a form of stop and frisk. They want to stop you anytime they see you. If you ain't the right complexion, guess what? They gonna stop you. I think it's unethical to stop somebody, and just because they not the right color, you feel like, oh, they got the wrong thing on, clothes on, that you think that they're doing something that's harmful. Anybody that are raising kids, anybody who's ever been through it, just know we're going back in time.
Katrina, you're up.
I'm just shocked that y'all surprised. Because the cops lie all the time. Even when your tickets, they lie all the time. And then they'll say you going this certain speed. Then let me see it on it. Or we can't show. Why you can't show me? If you say I'm going that speed, show me how fast I'm going. They lie all the time. And for them, why you just didn't get a child a jaywalking ticket like they normally do? Who get arrested for a jaywalking ticket? I mean, that's totally ridiculous. And if they do pass these laws that the police will have immunity, that means they can do whatever they want to do, and they ain't got to suffer no consequences behind it. You can't go to trial. You can't do anything. So the thing about it is, people just stay smart, keep your head on top, and just make sure you're aware of what you're doing. Always look, know your surroundings. Always pay attention, because it's something out there for everybody. Just make sure you pay attention, keep your guard up, and always try to keep your head on track. That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. You're up.
Well, I'm going to use my 30 seconds to remind everyone to vote, and vote. There is a candidate who has been advocating for implementing nationwide stop and frisk, as in my opinion stated, and that means everywhere where an officer is policing, they can stop you, they can search you, and after that, depending on the officer, it's in God's hands after that. And this same candidate has proposed, as Katrina mentioned, to giving police full immunity. So if you think an officer telling a black boy to STFU is the worst thing you've ever heard, then you better buckle up your seatbelts, baby. As it relates to this video, what I found troubling, and I'll get to the officer in a moment, but if I remember correctly, and somebody pulled my coattail if it's untrue, I thought when the officer said for this young man to stop, I thought the boy kept walking, and then he was talking to the officer as he was continuing to walk away, and he was asking the officer, why do I have to stop, as he was continuing to walk in the opposite direction. Did I see that?
The video you couldn't really see that much. It wasn't showing him because I think the one that was talking was the one that was recording.
Yeah, so I have to infer. So if I'm wrong, then please forgive me. However, when the officer kept saying stop, and then he kept saying why, no, you stop first, because nobody in a position of authority is going to tell you to stop, and then you keep walking, and then you think that they are going to talk to the back of your head. And I believe you said that he may have been wearing a hoodie. No, you stop and you comply. And the fact that he kept on walking, and to me, that was a form of insolence. And to me, the officer was already on a power trip. He was already on an ego trip. And he said to himself, I'm taking you in, buddy, for one thing or another. And the only thing that he can come out of his hat with was jaywalking, similar to what we saw yesterday with Pepper. They said that she was on her phone recording. So thank God this young man did record this incident, and thank God that the judge did throw it out. But I still think when we make it to a certain financial place in life and we move our kids to these nice areas, I do think we should be teaching them how to engage with law enforcement. Because yes, he recorded the incident, and yes, the case was thrown out, but that's still time wasted. That's still time missed out of your life. You had to go to jail. You had to go before a judge. That is time that you won't get back. And even if you did record it, something else could have happened. And so I understand that is the way that a lot of young people maneuver as far as being nonchalant, because I heard you all say, well, he's not even on that type of time. A lot of children are that way. And so, but the important thing is that when you see someone coming at you on a power trip and an ego trip, and when they ask you to do something, it's imperative that you do so, because your very life can depend on it, especially as we are moving into a political climate, which we are severely outnumbered. But this cop was 10,000% wrong. And I think that the chief of police, whoever that captain is, somebody needs to come out and make a formal statement. And I think that this young man deserves an apology.
I appreciate you. Thank you, E. Felicia, you're out.
All right. So this story is extremely triggering for me. I don't know how many times I've been stopped by NYPD, how many times I've been struck, hit, assaulted. You're with your friends, going to the ice cream parlor, you're sitting in the park, they claim they're looking for so-and-so, get up. What happened? What happened? What happened? Don't ask what happened. Line up. This is bullshit.
Yeah.
This is one of the main reasons why I always had my children in summer camp. You're not free to walk the street. You can't be with your friends. You can't be talking about nothing. Well, we see, okay, you jaywalked. That's reason for me to stop you, to curse you, to
come on now,
human.
Come on.
Oh no. I have said before, and I think some of you know, I have 4 children, and I got about 6 lawyers. I sure do. My children have been stopped. They're going to school. They can't find their pass. They go to sneak on the train. Police officer stops, tells my kid, you walk home. My kid lives in Manhattan. No, he goes to school in Manhattan. He lives in Brooklyn. How's he going to walk home? So my kid goes to another station, asks the person in the token booth, can he go through? He has lost his pass. So what does a mother and father do? Well, you get lawyers on standby. Your Black children aren't safe anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't care where they are. I don't care if they're in their neighborhood. I don't care if they're in the community where everybody look like them. I don't care if you're in a mixed neighborhood. I don't care if you're in a rural neighborhood. I don't care if you're traveling. Your children are not safe.
Yeah.
That encounter with those law enforcement people have affected him.
Yeah.
That's why I also had a psychologist on standby. Yes, I did. Oh, yeah. We had an educational psychologist and we had lawyers. So you see a little Humpty Dumpty police officer who came up, I'm detaining you, I'm taking you in, I'm turning you. Let's get his name. And then we respond with a lawyer. Put everybody on notice. These are my children. Yes, some people say, well, I don't have that kind of money. So you know what you do? You go down to something called a legal aid society. You find somebody that'll take your case pro bono. You build a relationship. And my children are not safe out here. These things happen to me. They've happened to my parents. And it's happening to my children. I need to minimize how much scarring and damage is going to be done to my children from these rogue so-called law enforcement who are the descendants of KKK people. I encourage every parent and that mother, if she is on it, because I like her, because she's very strong, she's very brave. She's coming out. She's saying, you're unhinged.
Yeah. Come on now.
She's saying you're unhinged. Do you know what kind of bravery and courage that takes for a parent to go up against this kind of law enforcement and call people out? And yes, her son was already spoken to because he knew what to ask.
Oh my God. You speaking right there, Felicia.
Oh, you wearing a hoodie and your friend got their hand in their, what is it, the belt area or whatever. Well, we know that's every day. Every day. There's something, like Leo says, they can't live, they can't walk, they can't talk, they can't drive, they can't learn, they can't be anywhere. They start to get treated and conditioned to be in certain spaces and not to feel at any point that they have freedom. So this is why you save money and you have lawyers on standby. Because the same way they will target a person, a young person, a kid in a neighborhood, a community, and they will stop them repeatedly. They also know who not to stop. Oh, that's so-and-so's kid. They're good. Don't bother them. Because when you put in civil complaints against these rogue, unhinged police officers, they start to build a tally against them, and they eventually have to come to some kind of court or situation where they are now going to be reviewed for their performance, for their conduct, for their ability to do their job. Now, it's been a while, but when I was a full adult, mother of four, going down the train station, Officer Cat, I don't know what was happening. My Metro card wasn't working. I told you all. She came breaking out like some superhero behind some wall. I says, oh, I'm so glad you're here. My Metro card wasn't working. She said, well, that's not why I'm here. She says, you have been locked up. I said, well, me locked up? I said, no, before you could turn around, she clinked me up. Okay. But to God, the glory. I could see she was unhinged. She had one of them 9 Glocks and kept hitting it with that baton thing. And she's walking me through. And for those of you, I know you don't see me, but baby, I was fabulous. I was fabulous that day. Okay. Because I was going to work. And I was prayed up. And she took me down in that precinct underneath the subway thing there to bring me in. And the place was full of black and brown men cops. And they was like, yeah, good you got her, Cat. Good you got her, because she didn't pay her fare. And I'm trying to say, no, look right here. This Metro card is malfunctioning or something. No one wanted to hear that. No one wanted to hear that. So I said, okay, let me just stay prayed up in here. And for those of you who don't know, if you have a book, you can't take the book. If you got a bag, can't take the bag. If you got some kind of listening apparatus, no, you can't take that. But you can take money because they ain't got nothing in there for you to buy. And they fingerprinted me, took me in. I'm in a cell down there in criminal court with about 20 other people. I know I told some of you all this story. And it was summertime. And they had picked up these two young girls. It was under 16. And they had gone to the beach and they went to jump the turnstile to come home. And they locked them up over the weekend. And they were in that pit, in that place, with half a bathing suit on and no money, waiting to see the judge. So we are all in there waiting to see the judge. But I have one of those 800 numbers that it's a card at that time, and you could use it and you could make outgoing calls. And they had a payphone in there, but big joke, you can't take no money. You can't take no coins. But I had that 800 number. And I called my lawyers. And I called them for everybody in that pen. Yes, I did. And I was taking names and numbers. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, this thing about comply is difficult to comply when you're living your life and you're not doing anything wrong. You're just doing what you normally do. That police officer is more than unhinged. He needs to be off the streets. He didn't even have the backing, because someone pointed out that there was another police car there. He didn't even have the backing of his peers because they know he's unhinged.
Oh my God.
And he's looking for these young people to resist so he can throw someone on the ground, bash their head in. And if a weapon goes off and someone's child is lost, then so what? Because they were allegedly wearing hoodies like a Trayvon Martin and they were jaywalking. Wake up, folks. If you don't know your children are in danger when they're out there, then I don't know what else to tell you other than have a lawyer on standby. So they know when they come for your kid, they look and go, not that kid. That kid, no, not their parents, not that household. I'm so triggered by this. I'm so angry. But thank you, Diva.
Thank you for sharing.
At least you just made my heart heavy, girl.
Yeah.
Girl, it's wicked out here. It's treacherous on our children. And this is why when I encourage parents to put your children in a summer program, and I'm saying vet it. You vet it. Yes. But so if they're not on the street, they can't go play ball in the park and be safe. They can't go out to the store to go get an Arizona iced tea and be safe. And if it's not one gang, like somebody in the chat said, they're the biggest gang out there in Delaware, then it's another gang seeing your child isolated and alone, and they come to seek your child out. It's a lot. I'm done.
Thank you, Felicia. Julius, you're up.
It's not just law enforcement, it's educators too. I've shared my story before from when I was in elementary school. And that officer's treatment of that young man brought that back. For the new subscribers that don't know, when I was in elementary school, I was heavily bullied and discriminated against. Not because I was autistic or that I had Asperger's. I was discriminated against for my sexuality and for the color of my skin. The principal, my parents had went in for a meeting. It turned ugly, especially when the principal at the time, his name was Mr. Fitzgerald, I don't mind naming names, said to my dad, well, if your son wasn't twitching his A and wasn't a gay, he would be all right. Now, my dad's from Mississippi. And he got up and it was about to go down. If it wasn't for my mama holding him back, it would have went down. So with that being said, seeing this behavior from the officer, we have all jaywalked. Lord knows I have. You know, we all have. And when the judge got a hold of this case, he said, "This is ridiculous." Even the officer that showed up was just looking at this officer. Are you flipping serious? And I want to commend that mother. Unfortunately, she had to give her son the talk that you're different in this world. You are a target. I know because I had to receive that talk from my white mother that I was different in this world. And that even though I am 31 years old, grown, there is not a day that she doesn't worry about me being mistaken for something because of the color of my skin. And it is quite unfortunate. And not even in education or law enforcement, but in the restaurant service industry as well. I was out for my nephew's 19th birthday. And unfortunately, my nieces and nephews had to see racism in real time. People think they are better than other people, but they are not. We all bleed red at the end of the day. Nobody is better than me, and I am no better than anybody else. But I'll tell you this. I know I am different. But even though this artist had his issues, he had this saying in his song, "I'm black and I'm proud." And I'm black and proud. That's it.
Thank you, Julius. Dustin, you're up.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I have shared my story on here plenty of times. For everybody on this panel, there's a reason why the way I am today, and this is why I lean on my best friend on a daily basis, because I feel the most loved by him, and I get the love and support from my best friends, and everybody on this panel knows my situation, including you, Diva. Mm-hmm. This is a very emotional situation. I do lean on my best friends, and there's a good reason why, and we all know why.
Thank you, Dustin. I appreciate you. Tay, you're up.
If I was the mama, I would sue the police myself. Because one, you treat this boy like he is nobody. And two, because of his skin. Three, you arrested him for he do the jack walk. It's wrong for us. Every time we always have trouble because it's our skin. No matter how many times we just want to be equal. That's all we want. We just want to be equal. We just want to be respect. But no, you just treat us like we just an animal. You treat us everything. You don't treat us like a human person. You don't treat us nothing. We just nobody, because you look at us like we are the bottom of your feet. Yeah, it's hard for us, Diva. Yes, it really do. I just wish this R word is stopped right now. That's all, Diva.
I appreciate you.
Diva, can I say one other thing?
Uh-huh.
I want to say that, Julius, you know, I was here for you, so if you need anything there, let me know. And I got you back anyway.
Thank you. Oh, but don't worry, everybody. I got my look back, though. He turned away shame when he seen me doing a community event.
All right, I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. I'm gonna roll right into the feel good story. Thank you for everyone that shared their personal experience and who shared their thoughts on this last story. So I'm gonna roll right into this feel good story.
This morning on The Dish, Crystal Wilkinson, award-winning author, scholar, and former Kentucky Poet Laureate. In her latest book, part cookbook, part memoir, Praise Song for the Kitchen Ghost, she takes readers to the mountains and kitchens of the Appalachian region.
I've always felt a power larger than myself while cooking. I learned how to cook by saying nothing.
When author Crystal Wilkinson recounts her childhood in her new book, she conjures those from whom she inherited her kitchen culture.
So much of the art of cooking lies in the body. I gained knowledge about the spirit of the cooks who came before me, the rhythm and the way they sloshed the greens in the sink, removed a pot seconds before it burned, drew a knife close enough to the finger to hold the vegetable taut but never cut themselves. A kind of electric excitement passed through me when I watched Granny cook.
Praise Song for the Kitchen Ghost is a tribute to the ancestors of Indian Creek, Kentucky, but mostly Wilkinson's granny.
This was the kitchen ghost.
Yes.
If not for her dress, she says it may have never been written.
Well, it entered into my life when my grandmother passed away, and how hard that.
I'm sorry, it is storming.
So hard, even though I knew how to cook. That first holiday, which was Thanksgiving, and thinking about, well, what are we going to do? You know, how are we going to do this? I was cooking for my mother and my 3 children and struggling, breaking down, crying, trying to do all the things. You know, my grandmother had 7 children. She had 25 grandchildren, several great grandchildren, and we would all gather in that little house. And I got her dress and I hung it up on the back door, and I felt like that at that moment she was like, okay, girl, you can do this.
Praise Song is also an ode to Appalachia, Wilkinson's term of recognizing the African-American imprint on the culture and food of the southeastern mountain region known as Appalachia.
Chicken and dumplings is my favorite
Is
dish.
it really?
Yeah. I like the universality of it. I like the fact that it is one of my comfort foods, and I know that at some point it was a struggle food for my people.
We decided to have Crystal teach me how to make it.
Then you'll put the chicken in.
A dish that formally ended her 2 decades as a vegetarian, because no matter how hard she tried,
Look at me.
Look at you.
she couldn't replicate a meatless version.
It's good.
Other Appalachian favorites were easier to alter.
This is the meatless greens, but you get a little smoky flavor from the liquid smoke.
And those aren't just collards. Those are...
That's a mixture of mustard, kale, and some collards in there too.
Gotcha. Is there a difference between Black Appalachian food and what we know as Appalachian?
I think there's a bigger distinction between Appalachian food and Southern food. And the foods are different mainly because the terrain is so different. In the Deep South, you can have a winter garden. Like you can still grow them collards in the winter. In Appalachia, you got snow, you've got ice. And so there's a bigger focus on preservation.
The book also honors her family history.
Like Grandma Aggie, who was born in 1795 in Virginia and was brought to Kentucky as an enslaved woman.
Grandma Aggie's daughter, Patsy Wright, graces the cover of the book. A child born free in 1818 to a white father, Tarleton Wilkinson. He also deeded property to her mother, as shown in records the family still possesses.
Feather bedstead, crocks and pots and pans and tables and everything that she sort of needed to set up a household.
Clues Wilkinson believes shed light on their relationship.
She was the, let's say, common law wife. So there were documents, and I was able to find her through census records because he never took a white wife.
Because marriage was illegal between whites and blacks.
The generations that followed lived off the land, including her beloved grandparents, who took her in as a young girl.
I lived an idyllic childhood. You know, I think there's something about being grandparent raised. We were home a lot. I did a lot of running around, and my grandparents would say, yeah, go on and do what you wanted to do. So I think my imagination was instilled from roaming that land. My grandfather had 64 acres of land.
64 acres that provided food for her family's table. There are recipes she claims is her own, like her upside-down cornbread,
which my grandmother would not have served, but I have innovated a little bit and put onion rings on the bottom of the skillet when you bake the cornbread. That is garlicky white beans, also vegetarian. And here you have dressed eggs. My grandmother, being a church woman, didn't often say deviled eggs, so you don't want to speak the devil's name. So this is dressed eggs.
Dressed or deviled, Crystal Wilkinson has lived her granny's wildest dreams.
My grandmother always wanted to be a teacher, and the women in praise song, the men too, but particularly the women, are the reason that I am who I am.
A scholar at the University of Kentucky, the state's poet laureate. And for that matter,
so you're Appalachian now.
I'm Appalachian.
A woman who knows her way around the kitchen.
And so even though the dishes in the book might not be dishes that people are familiar with, I think it'll hearken them back to their own kitchen ghosts and their own traditions.
I learned so much from her, especially all about dressed eggs.
If you don't want to call them deviled eggs, which is fine, why don't we just call them angelic eggs?
Oh, wow. Because they're a little naughty? I don't know.
You think they're naughty?
Well, because you get a little spice, right?
A little spice. She has a lot of kick in hers, but that and her mint berry lemonade are to die for. So, folks, hope you got a little taste of Appalachia. You know me, my mouth was full. You are good with that.
You will too. Yours is too.
I think it's good.
The dish is.
I thought it was a great story. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I appreciate y'all spending time with me as always. And as always, if you didn't hit that like button on the way in, do me a favor, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Thanks for spending time with me. Bye.
Do not cheat